How's it going, everyone? Apologies ahead of time for my wacky audio quality on the stream. It's not a whole lot I can do about that because most of the furniture in the room had to be migrated. We'll get to that in a bit. Um, but welcome to another episode of No Excuses with your favorite show hosts, Artist Still.
Venerian.
And Wallisell, and we're here to bring you the latest news and games commentary for the week with all three of us. I was late because of basically a complete physical crash from exhaustion, resulting in me waking up late. So I have no idea if Fern's going to be here for the whole show this time or not. So I
Yeah,
didn't
I
have
am.
time to ask beforehand. But we're all
I'm
three
here.
here. We're all three of us here today. If you'd like to get involved with the show, you can do so by sending us email at noexcusesvtw@gmail.com. You can follow us on the Twitter at noexcusesvtw, or you can join us in the Discord server, which is the very best place to view the show host posting. And you can get there by clicking on the link provided in the show description underneath the archive on YouTube.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Also, I just noticed that there's some camera fuckery going on with your little plush shark thingy.
Oh, with
Not with Sharky, with Sitlali's little shark thing which she put.
oh,
Yeah.
that thing.
Oh, it's angry now. That thing. That's kind of trippy.
When
So,
you
yeah.
when you say plush shark thing and a Mualani standing next to you, the reasonable
Yeah,
inference
the other plush shark thing.
is Sharky.
All right.
So, rat update. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Uh, so, uh, the reason my mic almost certainly sounds different today is because there is no furniture in my room. I'll provide a diagram. Just copy that image. And
Oh, dear.
so, this is the basic layout that I made in Paint to describe it to Fern.
MS Paint is the greatest expository tool known to man.
So, this is not a basement per se, but more like a sublayer of the house that's a fully finished floor. My office is right by the stairs. Across from my room, or my office area, is the sewing room, and next to that's the bathroom, and there's a hallway that just runs straight to the main area of down here. Yesterday, at about 1 a.m., I hear something, and I think I see something out of the corner of my eye scurry from the hallway into my room. I'm like, what was that? I look around, I'm like, yeah, okay, it could just be my mind playing tricks on me. I am pretty tired. It's pretty late. I probably should go to bed soon. I'll check it out tomorrow. Sit back down for a bit, and then I hear stuff falling over. I'm like, okay, it wasn't my imagination. Something's over there. So I catch it out of the corner of my eye, something with a long tail and a fuzzy body. I'm like, oh no. Did another opossum get in here? Normally they wouldn't come this deep, but it's not impossible. Normally they would stop and just kind of start screaming. But hey, it could be a raccoon or something. No, it's a mouse. Or I thought it was a mouse. Turned out to be much bigger than a mouse, so it's more than likely a baby rat because it's not quite a full size trash rat, but it's definitely bigger than a mouse. So to get to this thing, I have to get behind a chair that I did not put in my office that has accrued junk behind it from other people that have just left crap down here and don't want me to throw it away. So I've got to move all of that junk that is just piled up behind this chair, which is like mostly boxes and bags and junk. They're like, oh, just don't throw it away. Oh, okay. What do you want me to do with it? We got no storage space in this house.
But it's junk. Throw it
Yeah.
away.
So it comes to live in my office because I got the behind that chair was totally out of place and out of mind. So
Everyone's got place like that.
so I'm sitting there with a black trash bag, moving this stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, if this thing comes out of here, I gotta have a way to catch it. So I go, and I don't know if y'all Fern doesn't have these. We have these little single serving things of Pringles you can get. And I buy those in bulk because they're relatively low calories. And
Relatively.
yeah, well, they're 100 calories a
I
serving.
think I've seen them in the supermarket. but I
Yeah.
don't buy Pringles because, like, I don't really see the point in buying Pringles when I can buy actual potato chips made with potato, as
I
opposed
could
to
actually. I do have a nice cardboard box here I could chew on if I want Pringles.
The answer is they're cheap, and sour cream and onion Pringles are actually good
oh,
snack.
Pringles are at a premium cost. Like
They are
they're like the
needlessly expensive.
second most expensive type of potato chip, and they're not even made with real potatoes. They're
Yeah,
made
they're
with
crap.
like
Yeah,
powdered, like wartime potato ration potato.
yeah, they are.
Alternately, I could buy Red Rock Deli chips, which are real potato and delicious, and they cost half as much.
They
Yeah,
are.
there's plenty of farms around here that produce really good quality potatoes, and they also do potato chips. So there's no reason for me to buy Pringles at a premium price.
Yeah, they are relatively cheap here, and I genuinely like the sour cream and onion ones. So I buy those.
To be
And
fair, that is about the only actually good flavor.
yeah, I've tried a whole bunch of their wacky flavors before, and they're all terrible. Don't do that.
They're all bad.
They only have like 3 or 4 flavors here.
Yeah,
Every now and again, we get the other flavors. They bring them as a promotion, and they
Every
never
now and
sell.
then we'll get like a Marmite one or something like that.
we
Like,
got
Ugh.
we
how
got
about no?
the worst one ever was the Baconator one.
Baconator should be delicious. Should be a slam dunk.
No,
But then I remember potato chips and bacon flavor never mix.
yeah,
It never ends up tasting like bacon. Like there are a couple of like snack crunchies that are allegedly bacon flavor that I happen to like the flavor of, not because it tastes like bacon, but because I just happen to like the flavor. But most of the time, it will be like maple bacon or something, and it will just taste like sugar.
mhm.
Yeah. And usually has this really awful aftertaste as well,
Which again is nothing like bacon.
which is nothing like bacon. Bacon is, you know, perfect.
Yeah.
If you want something that tastes like bacon, you basically have to just cook some bacon.
Just make bacon. Make your bacon. Anyway, tangent.
Oh yeah, tangent. So I got this box for these mini containers of Pringles because the sturdiest cardboard box I got, and I need something lightweight. Cardboard's about the only thing I can carry with one hand because my other hand needs to move stuff and be able to grab the shovel. And I have a broom on standby just in case for some reason. Did not quite think this through, but I was very tired, and it was, as you'll find out, many mistakes were made in this adventure.
You refer to this rat as Jerry, by the way, and it is apt.
Yeah. So eventually, I get enough back there where I can reach the floor with the shovel. I still can't see Jerry, but I know he's back there because I can still hear movement. So I take the shovel and I tap it on the ground to scare him, trying to get him at least out from under the chair in the worst possible spot in the room. So he freaks out when that happens and runs to the second worst spot in the room, which is I have just boxes of wires underneath one of my tables. Now, Jerry can't get too deep in there because those wires are so tangled that he can't even navigate them. So this is when I get my first real look at him and see, okay, it's not a special big critter. It's just a mouse. Oh wait, that's too big for a mouse. That's definitely a young rat. So now I am I get him out of there with the shovel and try to corral him into the cardboard box. Doesn't work, but I do get him out of the office. Okay, territory reclaimed. We take the W. So I go outside and I'm like, crap, I didn't close and seal the doors to the bathroom, the sewing room, and the main area. And there isn't a door to the main area anyway, so, but I did not think to seal it at the time yet. So I get a towel and I shove it under my door and close my door now that Jerry's out of there. I hear movement in the sewing room. Jerry's in the sewing room. So I seal the bathroom door so he can't get in there. And then go chasing Jerry through the sewing room with my shovel and Pringles box, trying to find a way to capture this thing. The whole reason I'm doing this whole adventure, instead of setting out a trap in the morning like a normal person, is because I live in a house with my father. And he will do one of two things, and he did one of these two things when he woke up. Because, spoiler alert, Jerry survived the round, although he lost quite a bit of territory. He was either A, going to try and shoot it, or B, he was going to try and poison it. Now, here's the problem with that. If you shoot it, you got bullet holes somewhere, and that's a pain in the butt, and I'm going to have to fix it. If you poison it, I don't know if you actually kill the rat, and if you do, it's dead somewhere inside of something in your house, and is probably going to smell terrible later.
Yes.
So I did not want either of these, and just wanted to catch or kill this thing before this became an issue.
If you're going to lay poison, you have to put it inside one of those little no exit boxes so that the varmint can't leave afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do not. Mice and rats are not really a problem here, presumably because all the snakes and birds and hawks and eagles all get a hold of them before they can reach people's houses, because there are like a gazillion hawks around here all the time.
That's not really the real benefit. The real benefit is that when the population is constantly being predated on, they can't start to carry anything en masse.
Yeah.
So the real advantage is it keeps plagues away.
Yeah. So
I don't know if rats can carry hydrophobia, but I know that still goes around some places in the south, and you don't want that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. So I get him out of the sewing room eventually. Failed attempts to catch him on the way out. Get into the hallway. Crap! I forgot to seal the laundry room, and he ran into the main area. Well, I got lucky. He didn't go in the laundry room, so I immediately sealed that in the sewing room with towels. So now I have a problem. I don't want him getting in the hallway at all, and I don't want him in the recreation area because there's fires over there he can shoot. Okay, how can I contain him to the living room, or the living room area? And I don't want him in the kitchen either, for obvious reasons. Not that any type of food stuff is accessible to him, because that's not it doesn't have a pantry. It just has a sealed refrigerator and cabinets that are fully sealed, very high up, with no way for him to get in, or without very dedicated days of chewing. So the food was safe, but the smell might attract him. So I didn't want him over there. So my first brilliant plan was, okay, there's a choke point where I know he's in the living area. I can build a barricade and at least keep him there while I figure out what to do. So I barricade him in the living area with the best I got. That's just 3 feet of cardboard. And like, okay, hopefully that's enough. I come back, and Jerry has decided to flex on me by sitting on top of the fireplace mantle that's a solid 5 feet in the air and made of solid stone. And not what I would think would be easily climbable solid stone. The walls, the cardboard, anything like that, yeah, I could see how we could climb that. Solid stone that has no good grip points. No, Jerry's got mad ups, so he can get up 5 feet. So that's not gonna work if he can climb that. I gotta come up with a new tack. So I go get some old penny collection jars that don't have pennies in them anymore, and put those at the bottom of my barricade, and duct tape the gaps between them with the sticky part of the duct tape facing Jerry.
Why do you have that?
Oh, old penny collection jars?
Yeah.
Oh, my granddad used to collect pennies in them, and he had a ton of them.
But why?
They're like 2.5 feet tall.
But why?
I don't know.
That's a lot of pennies.
He was Great Depression era poor person, so it probably stems from that.
Are pennies still legal tender?
Yeah, they're not undone yet. They're not being minted anymore, I don't think, as of, or Trump tried to.
Cost too much.
Yeah, I think Trump tried to stop the minting of pennies because it costs like 1.5 cents to mint 1 penny, so it's a loss every time you mint one.
That's part of the reason why we stopped them. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're still legal if you have them. Any historically legal American tender is still technically legal, but most places won't accept anything outside of dollars and cents. If you have like hay pennies and stuff, you got to go to a bank and stuff, and they'll change it.
Yeah, I think banks are still obliged to accept New Zealand denominated currency. Like a New Zealand cent is worth almost nothing, but it's the same size and I think composition as a US penny. So that wouldn't make sense for us to maintain them. But they cancelled 5-cent coins not too long ago, like a decade ago or so. But I don't think you can exchange like pennies and halfpennies and florins anymore. But you can exchange other denominations, I think.
Those would actually probably be worth more than a penny and a halfpenny at this point to the right person.
Yeah.
There's not too many of them around still.
The older they get, the more their value goes up because it's harder and harder to find them.
I have some drachmas around somewhere.
Damn.
Yeah, I have all kinds of. I don't know what my mom did with the pennies that were in the jugs, but they're somewhere, and some of them might be worth something. It would take quite a bit of sorting to go through like 30 jugs of pennies.
Probably
Yeah.
converted into an ornamental coffee tabletop or something.
Yeah, or a whole coffee table. There's so many pennies.
It's a lot of pennies.
But yeah, so I got these stupid jugs, and this barricade seems to have worked because Jerry has remained on that end of the barricade when I've seen him throughout the day. I found Jerry's point of entry. Jerry didn't get in through a wide open door. Like, my dad has a real bad habit of when he's out and decides to do yard work. There's an area where I have listed unfinished basement workshop. That's his part of the basement. And it actually looks like a basement. Doesn't look like just another floor of the house. And he will often leave that big double door in that area open when he comes back, because he'll go in through the upstairs door and forget that he left that open. Like, I guarantee you, Dad left that door open, and this stupid thing got in here. But no, I found his other point of entry. The reason he was so keen to hang out on the mantle is because on the on top of the fireplace mantle, mounted to the wall, is a television, and behind that television used to be a speaker mounted into the wall. The speaker broke shortly after we got it, and my dad removed the speaker from the wall, but never sealed the hole. So it just kind of goes into half of the double-sided wall. So if something can break through the other side at any point in the wall, eventually it can snake its way around and find another exit into the main area. And that is what Jerry must have done. So I don't know where the actual point of entry into the interior is, but from the inside of the wall into the living area, I know where that point of entry is. So, that is where we're at. We have reclaimed my office, the sewing room, the bathroom, the hallway in between the two, the kitchen, the recreation area, the laundry, and kept him out of the unfinished part of the basement. However, the living area is still firmly Jerry territory, and I will now not get the game completion message because, sure enough, my dad put out rat poison.
Yeah.
I do not know if it has sticky tape or is in a it definitely doesn't have an enclosure around it. He just looks like he went to the store and got some. I went out that morning, got some rat traps, and put some peanut butter on them, and just kind of am hoping for the best. And I'm hoping that Jerry dies in one of those.
At least that way you know where he is.
Yeah, and the big old rat traps, they're going to take his head off if it snaps shut.
Don't be so sure. Although, yeah, we get out here, we get the big Australian bush rat, and these things are huge.
Yeah,
and if you poison them, they'll eat that. They'll eat the trap that you put the poison in, and they'll keep going.
Yeah, Jerry is not a full-size rat yet. He's bigger than a mouse, but he's not an adult rat yet. So
we don't have really big bush rats because we still use 1080 in this country.
So that is where the current conflict stands. And this ate all of my night last night, and I was very, very tired at the end of all of it.
Jerry was.
Yeah, Jerry did not get KO'd in the first round, but he did lose quite a bit of ground. So I'll take it and call it a W.
Yep. Yeah. No,
I was mentally referring to him as Virgil because you said he needed to get motivated.
Yeah, I'd lend you one of my live traps just so you could just catch him and be done with it. But wrong side of the planet, so yeah.
Yeah, unless you
I
can.
think I got some gin traps at my parents' place. I think those aren't legal anymore, though.
I don't think they are, no, because they're a bit
Inhumane.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. Messy would be another word for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
but,
do you know? Do they have those in America? I don't even know if Ari knows what I'm talking about.
I know a name of something called a gin trap, but I cannot call to mind anything about what you're talking about.
I'll just grab a picture. I think they've been illegalized, but where's Google? Google, come to my aid.
Yeah. So yeah, in my experience, the only thing that absolutely works are the live chat, the live traps, because they're designed to contain and not be eaten, because for some reason, like, you get those rat hotel traps with the poison in them, and they make them out of like ABS or PG plastic,
Oh
so
yeah,
rats just eat it.
yeah. I've seen those.
Yeah, they used to be all over the country, but dogs kept stepping in them, and native birds kept stepping in them, and so on.
I think I did have one of those actually laying around from the old fellow we inherited our shop block from. He had a bunch of them.
We
They're
like
all rusted up.
that. I've never seen one that's not rusty. I think they might come with rust on them.
I think
But,
they do, yeah.
Yeah,
You know, you've got to get that tetanus in there just to really rub it home.
yeah.
but, we've got like 50 kilos of them at my parents' house, unless my dad's gotten rid of them. My dad would never throw something away though. He might have salvaged it for parts or for the raw metal or something.
Yeah. So, oh dear.
So that is your obligatory rat update. The other reason you probably thought he was Virgil was because I've been it's been a very busy week other than the rat. So I have retreated to my happy place.
Yes.
Talk
Pull
to-
that devil trigger.
A place where there is no customers.
there, there's a storm that is approaching, but that storm is me with plastic lawn chairs. So we'll talk about that when we get to my week. But
For me, the plastic lawn chair in my mind doesn't have Virgil sitting in it anymore. It just has Miyabi's ears poking up.
The other acceptable one is Bibu. She did that a collab with his voice actor at one point, actually, if I recall correctly.
who got Dan? Oh, Dan would do anything.
Yeah.
Of course, she probably got
Yeah,
Dan.
Yeah.
he's sort of well known for it, really. It's one of the voice actors that will actually do anything for the fans and isn't just trying to farm clout.
I still remember the time he accidentally revealed Devil May Cry 5 ahead of time.
Yes.
I didn't say he was clever.
Dan and Ruben are great. But when Ruben is the more professional of two people, you know you got a fun character.
Yeah.
Just if Ruben looks at you after you ask, wait a minute, are we allowed to mention anything about that? And he just goes, no.
No. Too late.
You know you done goobered a bit too hard.
All right. We should jump into weeks then. My week has been twofold mostly. For the most part, put most of my time into playing Grounded and getting through that. I've progressed significantly
That's
further
that
than
Rick
I have.
Moranis game, right?
What's that?
That's
I
that
guess.
Rick Moranis game, right?
Yeah. Honey, I
I'm
Shrunk the
trying to.
Kids.
Yeah, that's the one.
So it does have, of course, the obligatory mad scientist, and a lot of the story revolves around basically him getting sacked from evil company de jure and continuing his research. It is a bit more refreshing where he kind of realizes early on that he is absolutely screwing up his life. But by that point, the only way out of his situation is through. So, yeah. Partly because his wife left him and he needs actually something to show for all his efforts, and partly because he is slowly, and I say slowly in the relative term, he is experiencing extremely accelerated aging because of constantly shrinking. So there's that whole plot as well. Plus, you have the evil company still lurking around in the periphery. So yeah, I'm into the back third of the game now, the upper yard, as they call it. Generally, once you get to that point in the game, you can basically dominate everything in the lower yard, including the boss that's down there. Then you step into the upper yard, and the meta completely shifts, and you will suddenly find yourself getting bodied again. Because enemies up there don't respond to weapons type damage anymore; they respond to elemental damage. So you got to build that instead. But yeah, for the most part, it's still been a fun ride. I'm into I believe it is the final dungeon before I meet the actual wrinkled up scientists in person. But they play a dirty trick when you get to his area. You have to crawl under the shed, and by crawl I mean stampede in massive fashion because the area is huge compared to you. But yeah, you can charge through there. There's resources galore. There's a lot of enemies in there which provide good late game resources. And then there's a spider nest right at the back which has the Black Widow in it. Now, Black Widows are busted. Before, they didn't actually have any elemental or weapon type weaknesses at all before, so that they had to actually nerf them. But if there is a baby Black Widow in their nest, and they will summon them during the fight, it will try to eat it. If it eats it, it will rapidly heal and go berserk and just dominate you completely. So after cruising your way through everything in the undershed up until that point, you've run into this thing and it just tears your face off. That's a bit of a nasty surprise. So that's where I'm up to at that game. I believe once you get the scientists, you can actually end the story at that point. But there's more content after that. At least one more dungeon. Where you take on Director Schmechter is his name. The director of the science division of the evil company. Who is there in tiny robot form. So yeah, I'm having a good time with that. It's something one of the games that's been in the backlog for a long time, so I'm just happy to finally get into and do that one. Kind of motivated because they've got the second one in early access now, and looks like they've taken a lot of what worked in the first game, kept rolling with it, but fixed up a lot of the really annoying bits in it, like having to carry half a dozen different tools, so you've got the correct tool for everything you needed, and actually adding mounts, which would be nice. I want to ride my ant around, damn it. So yeah, good time on that one. I'm pretty sure it's actually on sale at the moment too. The game is designed, and I suppose to a degree, balanced around multiple players. But it is entirely possible to play it through single player. It's just different. Because, you don't have anyone able to distract the monster while you speak up and wail on its weak point. You've got to do everything yourself. Okay, so that's that. The other game I've played is a bit of Titan Quest 2, which is also in early access. And I'm liking it so far. It's basically kind of the best of other ARPGs at the moment. So it takes mechanics and elements from all over the place, and kind of adds them into the Titan Quest formula. So the big one, of course,
I've heard some people give opinions on it, but they've been pretty reserved about saying too much. It's like, well, there's some good things here, but there's not nearly enough at this stage. And I think that's fair, because an ARPG it survives on scope. Like, you need to have a massive amount of sort of like vertical depth to play with.
Yep. As well as a lot of horizontal depth in order to tinker with. And the original,
you need to be able to play it for a long time in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. So right now you have the prologue and chapter 1, which is like an island and then Greece. I'm not sure if you actually leave Greece at the end of chapter 1. I haven't gotten to that point yet. You have 4 masteries available, which is Storm, Earth, Warfare, and Rogue. Originally, I think they were only going to launch it with 3, but then they stuck Rogue in there because you kind of need more, basically. From what their roadmap says, they're currently planning 6 for launch. Now, as opposed to the original Titan Quest, the masteries have a lot more flex in them now. So you've got you don't need to invest in the mastery bar anymore. You have a separate point that you just use to progress that. It doesn't give you any stats anymore. It's just used to unlock the next tier of skills. From that, your active and your passive skills are in separate pools. So you you can pick between them, and you don't need to really decide where you want to put your points as much. From there,
in Pun Quest, that was always the question, and I don't think it was necessarily a bad question, but it was always a question of, do I just keep pumping my mastery up so I can get to high level skills, or do I start putting points into skills that I want to level up at the lower tiers?
And Grim Dawn had the exact same issue. It was really a decision, like, you invest in the mastery bar and you build up your base of stats and you unlock the higher abilities. Or you
in exchange, you have to use a pea shooter.
Yeah, and you just flick bits of rolled up newspaper or something at them for a while. Or do you get the big flashy skill that blows everything up, but you're also a glass cannon?
Or if you get that
Also,
skill,
if you find something that's...
you don't have enough juice to make it do any damage, or enough mana to cast it regularly, or whatever it is.
Yeah. So you go in, you blow that skill, and you just hope that everything's dead. So yeah, they've kind of split it all up a bit, so you kind of progress a bit more evenly. From there, skills have a pile of modifications you assign to them. And some of them will drastically change how they behave, or how they synergize, or all that sort of good stuff. So some abilities you can set up so they have a passive mode, like I forget what it's called, the fire volley. Active mode throws fireballs over the place. Passive mode will do it as well, but at a much slower rate. And you'll need to build up charges of whatever buff is attached to that as well. The trees do have overlapping buffs as well. Overwhelm is the big one, which tends to build up off of auto attacks. And every tree will interact with Overwhelm in some degree, if you spec into it. So yeah, it's possible, like, if you have two players who build the same masteries, even pick the same talents, and they can still play completely differently, which is really good. But that said, honestly, it seems like you're supposed to, like, pick one ability and build everything around that. So choose your favorite, and then everything kind of interacts with that, or is used to set that up, or whatever.
Well, realistically, that's what most people do in ARPGs.
Yeah, Path of Exile is fantastic for that, honestly, because that's really just how you do that game. From Path of Exile as well, they've also got the potioning system. So you socket a potion into your character sheet, and then that will charge up as you smack things, and you can expend charges to heal or restore mana.
I liked how Grim Dawn just kept adjusting the way the potions worked. Eventually, they just gave up, and they're like, okay, look, everybody's got a functionally unlimited number of potions.
Yep, we'll just put a cooldown on it.
Yeah, just here you go.
So, I can have all those spaces in my stash back.
Yep, all those extra inventory spots, one big stack.
And they, with one of their enchantments, they're like, okay, literally everybody takes a movement ability on this particular piece of equipment, so we're just going to give you the ability in a separate slot,
we'll just
not
give
tied
you
to your
dodge.
gear, because everybody takes the mobility ability.
Yeah. Once you get into the desert area, it's like that's the only enchant you can put onto. I think it's a necklace or something.
Yeah, I forget how this is work, but yeah.
Yeah, but now you have a dodge, and if you get that ability, it just replaces your dodge now. Titan Quest 2, it also has a dodge, and you can spec it to change it however you want. Your basic attack, your dodge, and your shield ability are in their own tree, which still pulls from the same active pools, but it's not bound to any mastery in particular. So you can tweak that however you like as well. As far as story, yeah?
Oh, I'm just saying you must be tabbed out of the game because we've been spamming wind and pink hearts on you, and you have not.
I can hear it. Yeah, I'm just looking at other stuff while I'm talking.
You even fought one of those lava rocks on your head.
That was... Oh, that explains where my health bar went. This is most unprofessional, thank you very much. Although we'll take the treasure. Treasure! Ooh, surfboards. All right.
Yeah, but you have those
Yes.
disappointment chests.
Story-wise, it's hard to say where this falls in relation to the first game. There's no mention of the Telkeens or the Titan Slayer or anything like that, so no idea yet.
There is only, as far as I know, in that game, one area.
You beat Medusa, and that's the end of the game.
Because, like, every 2 years, okay, we'll play Titan Quest again. And we never finish it.
Yeah.
And
But I mean, you say that, but we also do keep coming back.
That's true. Every 2 years, like, we could do it
We're
again.
probably about due again. Yeah. Furthest I've gotten in that game is up to Medea, and Medea is she's Medea. She is a jerk who is just a jerk, really. But yeah. So plot-wise, you are basically from birth being pursued by a pissed-off nemesis who hates you for reasons and wants to murder you. We find out pretty early on that from a talking magical horse that there is a prophecy about you and her, and presumably you're going to have to. You're supposed to be her downfall or something like that. So she's going to Greek God at you.
Do some Greek god clobber bopping.
That worked real well for whatchamacallit.
Pick one.
Actually, there's too many, because that's like the standard motif, right? Is that people try and defy the gods and it goes poorly. But
or there's a prophecy where the gods try to defy it.
Oedipus is the one I was thinking of, because that was incredibly poor.
Yeah.
Yeah, generally, if the oracle or the Greek prophets come to you and tell you something's going to happen, best to find out how to make that conclusion work in your favor, because it's going to be very hard to stop it.
In this case, it was the Fates.
Yeah, they're up there.
Yeah. The three ladies who read the thread of life.
Better the Fates than the Furies. You might survive the Fates.
Well, the Fates tend to not get involved for the most part. They read and they'll tell, but that's about it.
Well, they just get tomorrow's newspaper. The Furies got a hold of you. They're going to make tomorrow's headlines themselves, and your corpse is going to be on page 1.
Yes.
I remember that television show. Whatchamacallit? Early edition. That was like the 90s.
That was the 90s. Jeez. Whoops. Fall off. All right, so that's been my week. It's been a good video week, I think. I need to join back in on the animes again, because, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I need to watch. I just don't know what to watch. I haven't even looked at what the new seasons are doing, come to think of it. So yeah, I hopefully by this time next week I will have finished Grounded 1, and I don't know, I might jump into Grounded 2 straight away, because there looks to be a fair bit of content there. But the original Grounded, when it came out, had most of the lower yard accessible. Not all of it, but most of it. But very little in the way of the actual story. I think you could get up to the Hedge Lab, and that was about it. And the Hedge Lab is like the first thing you do after you build a basic setup. All right, Genshin's I've just been chipping away at the story of this zone. I haven't done a whole lot, unfortunately.
Where are you up to? Better question, Vol. Where are you up to?
I've got 100% clear.
Okay. So Fern, where are you up to?
I am up to. Hang on, I'll have to actually look at the quest log, because I was doing quests right before this, and now I've forgotten entirely. Where's quest log?
You have not unlocked the last island yet, it looks like.
Not yet, no.
There is a chest that apparently I haven't got, or at least I don't think I've gotten, which is the one that you see when you're tripping balls. Apparently that chest is really there, and I haven't been to get it yet.
Yeah, I think I've just got to finish up the last little bit of the first island, and then I'll be off to the second.
Yeah, you gotta go to the 3 attractions still.
I've done all those.
Okay, so
The
you're in the
the
follow-up.
carnival ride one is strange.
The usual suspects declared this guy here racist, but then the Mexicans came and blasted them for it. It's like, no, we love this. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Oh, this guy's a boss.
This guy is a boss, and he will one-shot you. So let's just watch out. Yeah, don't do what I just did and get got.
Yeah, this guy's vulnerable to charge, basically. You need
Yeah.
electro charge to freeze the hats in position.
I'm gonna die.
I don't actually have a character or setup that can actually do this this fight.
I already ran in there. Really.
You're supposed to watch which one is actually him and break that hat, but we weren't really paying any attention.
I
Yeah.
was at the this is a boss.
Shreked.
I got shreked.
We haven't done any damage to him yet, I don't think.
Yay! We moved his health bar.
Oh no, I died.
You dead? So yeah, this guy's kind of a meanie.
Yeah, I love.
Was he?
I do love that one thing about the Mexicans, at least. Anytime somebody makes a Mexican stereotype character and the white Californians get offended on behalf of the Mexicans always come in and are like, "What are you talking about? We love tacos and fajitas. We love sombreros. Get that mariachi band out."
Hell yeah.
It's like,
Let's make
That's
this party.
the bizarre thing, though. It's like, these things, if they did not love these things, they would not be cultural touchstones. And every culture loves to see other cultures appreciating their cultural touchstones.
yeah,
Treasure chest up there?
and it's like the Mexicans are always the left in particular in America is always so quick to get offended on behalf of the Mexicans. But the Mexicans genuinely like all the dumb American interpretations of their culture,
Mm-hmm.
or just any foreign interpretations of their culture. So that's
Well, they don't like the interpretation of their culture that includes the word Latinx.
No,
yeah,
they do not. That's a quick way to annoy them.
yeah. If you want to offend them on their language level, yeah, and use the word Latinx.
Yes. So you see Australian stereotypes, and everyone here just kind of cringes and then laughs.
Well, I mean, there's because everybody outside Australia and perhaps New Zealand, since we've got free movement between our countries, so every New Zealander's been to Australia practically. Everybody outside Australasia thinks that Crocodile Dundee is a documentary.
I mean, yes. I'm not going to deny it. That's the other thing is whatever stereotypes you throw in about Australians, we're going to double down on them and make them worse. And by worse, I mean better.
Trying to block your shots and it's not working.
I know you are. You almost pushed me off the balloon.
I know. I tried to do that too.
Stab.
I don't think I actually
yeah.
can get you off. It won't let me push you further than that.
There we go. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's where you're at. You're still unlocking the
Still
island
unlocking stuff.
with the best side quest.
You do not know what the best side quest is yet.
Yeah, I'm not really sure precisely which one you were referring to.
I haven't done all of them, but I just the one of the ones I did do there jumped out to me. The Tripping Balls one.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, no,
Okay.
that one, you said it wouldn't go the way you expected, but it went exactly as I expected. Like, precisely.
I meant that more in degree than direction. Oh, I'll save it for Fern so he can enjoy it.
Yeah. We got trip balls. It's
I
anything
mean,
like
I did see people commenting on it, but the comment was usually, it was about contrasting sort of like the attitude of Lumine versus the attitude of Stell, where Stell is always like, in every situation, her response is "F it, we ball," but
Yep.
Lumine is like so old and tired and has been through everything that she's like, you know what? Let's just do it. I don't care anymore.
That's kind of why I like playing it through this as Aether, because then you kind of get old lady Lumine as an actual character.
I mean, they have so little screen time right now that
Yeah.
Well, they do have different expression though. Like uh, Lumine's attitude towards Ether is very different to Ether's attitude towards Lumine, depending on which one you're playing. Like, if there's a different dynamic there. Like when you encounter, and Fern won't have yet. Aristeel's finally caught up. When you encounter Ether as Lumine, there's a real sort of palpable sense of Lumine looked up to her brother very much and desperately wants to look up to him again, but is just like consistently having her sort of idolizing image of him betrayed every time they encounter each other. Whereas Ether has a much more sort of like upset that my little sister's going down the wrong path attitude,
And I
rather
still
than
don't get
I'm
why.
like there's a different sort of dynamic to the sense of betrayal that they have depending on who is the void character and who is the protagonist character.
Yeah, Aether's constantly still thinking the best. Like there has to be a reason behind everything.
That's because Ether really wants to believe that in the innocent little sister, whereas Lumine, by contrast, wants to believe that, oh well, there's no way my big brother would ever betray me.
Yeah. So it's not a huge difference, but it's enough.
You can see it in the way they draw the characters, though. Like their expressions are very different.
Yeah.
If you look at like video playback or screenshots of different scenes where they encounter each other side by side, their actual reactions are very different.
Yep. Anyway, I will end my week at that because I have a lot of island adventure to do now. Although I think I've gotten most of the exploration on these ones down here. I'm at 79%, so there's still a bit around. So, Vol, what do?
Well, let's see. Okay, so Blue Archive, the current event is Jury's event, which is basically an extended version of something that happened during Hina's last big event. But basically, it's the school lunch club having their day off, and basically, Jury is so used to being unable to cook that she wanted to use her day off to become a waitress so she could at least see what people being happy to see her and was like by
That's a bit
working
sad.
by working by working front of house rather than in the back. But she accidentally ends up getting drafted into cooking anyway, and everything goes all wrong from there. But yeah, it's basically the primary characters are the primary characters Jury, with Senna acting as supporting character, and Best Girl Fuka and Ako are there as well, and a little bit of what's her name? The Yori, the darky one. the slightly more tanned than the rest of the cast one. Iori is there too, very briefly, until everything goes wrong for her, which it always does in every event that she's in. She always ends up being the butt monkey. Although, to be fair, Ako also does end up being the butt monkey in every event she's in. I despite myself, I can't help but really like Ako. Like, she's always sort of like the bad guy or the obstructive bureaucrat or whatever in whatever story she's in. But I kind of can't help but like her because she's basically just, you know, a victim of the system, really. But it's their little story. It's nothing particularly groundbreaking, but it's quite entertaining. Senna is there being abnormal as always.
Being
But
autistic little sleeve wearer.
Huh?
Wait, wrong character.
You've got me very confused.
Don't worry about it. Anyway.
But yeah. Anyway, so it's just a simple event, just a story and a bunch of missions. It's one of the smaller scale, low key ones, but it doesn't take very long to play through the story, so it's worth it for a bit of a laugh to see what is Gehenna up to today. Eventually, Hina has to step in and solve issues, as she always does. Although she doesn't have to take a direct hand in this case. But everybody basically runs in circles in Gehenna anytime she's not involved. But I also read there's a mini story which just has a big pile of Prima Gems just for reading it this week. So I don't know how long that is. It's a timed reward, but it's basically commemorating the fact that Kisaki and Hina are basically the most powerful individuals in their respective regions, one way or another, and by chance they share a birthday, and this causes shenanigans as both of their respective sets of cronies try and order a birthday cake for them through the least reliable shipping service in Kivotos. Hijinks ensue. But yeah, so there's that little story as well. But other than that, there's not a great deal going on there. There's not really any reason to pull for casual jury because she doesn't really do anything of note compared to the rest of the cast that people already have and have built. And there is a small amount of reason that you might want to pull for the other rate up character. What's her name? It's just escaped me all of a sudden. It was there a second ago because I used it, and now it's gone. But any rate, she's only good for the current boss, basically. I can't remember what that current boss is called. Whatchamacallit boss, the Hyakuyaku boss from the Hyakuyaku story. Have you done the Hyakuyaku story yet?
Nope.
At any rate, I think that boss is from that story, or that boss might be adjunct to that story rather than actually part of it, because there's a couple of bosses in that story.
At least Senna Casual is cute.
Yeah, she's got I think it's partly due to contrast with her incredibly frumpy base form, but she looks really good in casual. But yeah, she's like the premium healer for exclusively the Hyakuyaku boss, the Hyakuyaku raid boss, and basically doesn't have a role outside of that. But if you were the sort of person who's going to mold until you get a good torment score so you can be platinum and raiding, you definitely would pull Senna. But she's not limited.
Shuri already had quite a few points invested in the upper chest area department, but she definitely put some extra points in the cleavage substat for her casual outfit, and that's about all that's significant about this.
She's definitely one of those people who just dump their points into the same stat every time they level up.
Yeah.
But yeah, she doesn't really have a use. Like, she's not bad, but unless they release a boss where doing chill damage is basically mandatory and you need her there for it, there's probably not going to be any reason why anybody would pull for her. I suppose the novelty is that with her build, she's a first year, and her
we can
boss
only go
her
up
boss
from
is
here.
third year. Yeah, I guess. But yeah,
Uh,
Fuka obviously best girl.
I would not eat
As
those
far as Gehenna's
pancakes.
concerned. Well, I mean, the story actually hinges on the fact that for the first time in her life, she cooks successfully, but this causes her to sort of let her guard down, as it were.
I see.
But yeah, Fuka has a character portrait for her casual wear, which is much plainer than the others. Which I suppose suits her personality in various ways. She has a character art for her casual outfit, but she doesn't have a character in this event. Maybe she'll get one later. But yeah, she basically plays the straight man in this event, basically doing the deadpan at everybody else's hijinks. But yeah, so yeah, there's not much happening there. Neither of those characters are going to adjust the meta in any way. It's going to basically be unchanged, other than the fact that the people mauling Torment are going to be picking Senna for healing that boss.
So it looks like we're caught up to late February, early March of this year compared to the other servers. At least the JP server. We're about 6 months behind still.
Well, the primary servers are Japan and Korea.
Yeah.
But, yeah. At any rate, that's where we are there. I don't know whether they were planning to catch up to the 6-month mark. I don't know whether they're planning to try and catch all the way up, but their first sort of like milestone was to reduce the gap from 12 to 6 months. And presumably eventually they're going to try and reduce it to 0 so that everybody will have like global deployments, and our whatchamacallit, Clairvoyance EX will devolve into nothing. On that note, there was recently a big live stream for FGO. I didn't watch it. But one of the announcements there was that it's coming to an end. Now,
Yeah.
whether this is a legit coming to an end, or they'll change their mind at the last minute and do another chapter, or they'll keep it in maintenance mode for another decade. That part's not clear, but it would not surprise me if they decide that they're going to gradually wind it down, because it has been in service for 10 years now, and they they've been intimating for the past few years that they want to move on to another project because the framework of FGO is too limiting at present. They've basically their character development has moved on quite a bit as well. Like, they're sort of hitting the limit of what you can do with building up a character. Like, you can, one of the current mechanics in the current arc that they're going through is a method that allows you to ascend a servant to being a grand servant. And you can have like 3 of these, or no, hold on, there's 1 per primary class and then 2 in the 2 groupings of extra classes. I think that's how it's set up. But yeah, and the main advantage of a grand servant is they get a flat bonus to some stats, and they can hold 3 craft essences rather than 1. One of those craft essences must be their bond one. One of them is permitted only to be something that like rewards extra resources, like friend points or whatever, and the other one can be anything of your choice. Because some of the bond essences are terrible, you also have the option to switch that to just a flat start with 50% Noble Phantasm as well. So, yeah, but was momentarily tempted to go back so that I can make Hime into a Grand Servant, which I'm sure would be a fine thing for everybody. What could possibly go wrong? But yeah, I didn't succumb to temptation. I might go back once it has reached the end of the story, like for realsies, just so I can play through the story. Although the story is kind of, unlike a lot of gachas, the story alone in FGO gets very hard. Like, the bosses become very, very difficult. So it might be a bit much of a trial to go through it if you come in late after all is said and done, and don't have characters that were meta in the last little bit. because it will make everything a lot harder. I have some very, very good meta comps for, circa Avalon LeFay, but after that point, I don't have anything, and the meta did move on after that, although there were no shifts as dramatic, I don't think. There are a few big shifts, but none that overturned the way the game functioned. But it will still be very, very difficult because they always make their bosses very, very hard. But yeah, I'm sort of interested to see where they will go once they reach end of service. Everybody sort of smelled it on the wind for a long time, but it remains to be seen if they're actually going to pull the trigger for realsies, or whether they'll put it into sort of semi-maintenance and do sort of mini events, or what. But yeah, that's that. The what's next on the list is Star Rail. Star Rail did nothing this week. Still struggling to try and get my characters to a reasonable level in preparation for Hycelin's release. She has released in pretty much the exact state that she was by CBT3, as far as the stuff that has been posted online. She's got a very good kit. It's not going to shake the meta. She's not significantly more powerful than anybody else. Only people like me who already have Black Swan and Kafka invested are really going to go for her. Although it remains to be seen how important Black Swan is. Like, the advantage of Black Swan in a Hycelin's team is not really that Black Swan makes a Hycelin's team a huge amount better. It's more that Black Swan, if you have Black Swan, then you can run a triple nihility and sustain. Whereas, if you don't have Black Swan, you will be replacing Black Swan with the best harmony that you can spare. And that's the problem, really, is that you need to have a harmony that you can spare who will fit that team and serve it well. And there's no purpose-built dot harmony. So you're going to be poaching, like, Ruan Mei from your break team, or Robin from your follow-up team, or Tribby from your HP scaling team, or Erudition team, or Sparkle from your skill points team. Like, no matter what you do, if you don't have Black Swan, you have to poach a harmony from somewhere in order to raise the power level back up to where Black Swan would put it. And you can. Like, Black Swan is not going to overpower the team. Black Swan is like a dot substitute for harmony. Like, she by herself brings the power that a premium harmony would add to the team. But the advantage that brings you is really in flexibility, because it doesn't require you to poach from another team. Because Black Swan is never going to appear in a team that is not a dot team unless you're running Dot Charon. So yeah, there's not really any special advantage in the abstract to having Black Swan for Hycelins. Like, she works with Hycelins extremely well, don't get me wrong, but she works in a sense so well that it becomes the only team that you simply don't need a premium harmony for, in which case she's basically playing that role. But yeah, I'm still trying to rebuild my characters after the great overhaul that was the Kafka skill refresh. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I am incredibly grateful that they've decided to crack open that can of worms and start updating old characters. But the sort of builds you have to reach for with Kafka now are incredibly difficult. I mean, the payoff is spectacular, but getting to the watermark required to get the most out of new Kafka is challenging.
At least old Kafka's still there as an option.
Yeah, but you don't want to use old Kafka. She's doesn't work in the current meta at all, because she's basically she's an output character for a power level that is no longer relevant to the game, because HP has increased too much. The thing is that the optimal Kafka build now has 167 speed. Like, that's her new speed breakpoint. And there's basically, there ain't anybody not named Hyacine who can get up to there. So yeah, it's a rough breakpoint to reach. I don't think I've been able to get past like 145 because I haven't been able to get any good pieces for it. But yeah, you want to be running Eagle of Twilight Line 167 speed, and speed in that build is so good that you can basically ditch most other stats for it, provided that you can maintain a sort of minimum 75% EHR.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an odd build requirement to use Kafka, but Kafka is still like, and after this rebuild, Kafka is still only good for Dot. Like, there's no real other context for her. And there's, because they've been so lax about releasing 4-stars, like there's not really any good reason to build a Dot team unless you've got some premium Dotters already, because Gwenhyphen needs help, basically. I think Gwenhyphen needs an overhaul so that there is a proper 4-star Dotter, because I mean, actually, as far as people have tested, Sampo works unbelievably well in Hycelin's teams. So there's Sampo, but you usually want to have multiple Dotters in a Dot team.
Also,
But
it's Sampo.
oh yeah, also it's Sampo, everybody's favorite covert emanator. Like the player base has been convinced that Sampo is an emanator of Elation for a very long time, and he hasn't done anything to dissuade people of thinking this. But then he wouldn't, would he? Because he's Sampo. So
It's Sampo.
so yeah. Looking forward to building that team up. I've managed to groom my Black Swan a little bit, and I've managed to get like a serviceable Kafka gear set, but it's only serviceable. It's not really where I want it. And Hycelin's basically has the same gear requirements as Black Swan, so I basically have to farm Black Swan twice. Not really looking forward to that. The big problem with Hycelin's is that Hycelin's kit doesn't solve any of Dot's problems. She simply raises Dot's power ceiling to the point where Dot can compete again, but that just means ultimately that she's going to fall off like every other archetype does. It doesn't do anything about the systemic problems that generally cause Dot to fall off faster. So yeah, it's a bit doubtful what the longevity will be, but the fact that they're actually acknowledging Dot as an archetype is encouraging, because it means that they're going to probably try and maintain it into the future, even if it does have to take its turn. As somebody who's heavily invested in Break and has seen Break fall off in spectacular fashion because everything is about memo sprites these days, it's I've been through that multiple times already. I didn't fully invest in follow-up. Like, I've got a passable follow-up team for those times where I need a follow-up team, but generally speaking, I didn't invest too heavily, other than I pulled Fei Xiao. That was what I did as my concession to dotting. I didn't pull to follow up. I didn't pull Aventurine. I didn't pull Topaz. Didn't pull Cypher. Didn't pull any of those other follow up mainstays. So yeah, I'm not too heavily invested in that, but I did heavily invest in Break. I am still heavily invested in Break. Firefly is my single most invested character, which is the reason I can still use Break when there are no buffs for Break anywhere anymore. But the feeling of having your favorite archetype fall off is not a good one, but I had that happen when Dot fell off the last time, because I was invested in Dot early in the game, and then it basically stopped existing, and Black Swan got benched. But they brought Black Swan back like a year and a half later, and now she's in the premium team again as of Hycelin's release next week. So yeah, they don't abandon them forever. And if you look at the team compositions, they're all characters from the Lofu era. Though I'll probably run Gallagher rather than Hoyo, simply because Dot teams are hungry for the SP, and Hoyo is also hungry for the SP, so I probably won't pull for Hoyo just for the Dot team. I'll probably hope that there's a sustain that's a better fit at some point down the line.
I mean, you can get 2 Hoyo.
Yeah, getting 2 Hoyo would make it work, but that's pulling 2 characters at that point.
I got 2 Hoyos.
Yeah, but I mean, you were already invested in Hoyo, and Hoyo goes everywhere. Like, there's basically Hoyo will slot into nearly any team with minimal fuss.
Like, if you just don't have an idea what you want to keep that team alive, is if you got whoa at E1. She'll probably work.
But yeah, I'll probably try and fit Gallagher into that role. Gallagher's got the issue, of course, of being a 4-star, therefore he's fragile, and things tend to go horribly wrong if he attracts the attention of an opponent too many times in a row. But he's a
This
good
goes both
battery. He's a good SP battery simply because he basically has no call to use his skill ever, except in a real emergency, or we desperately need to remove a debuff and do it right now. He's better adapted to break than other teams, but it's not by a huge margin. Like, he's still a good option. And Lingsha eats too many skill points. She likes to eat skill points.
You could just not push
So
the
I
bunny
don't really
button.
want to use her. You could not push the bunny button, but the bunny button's right there, man.
Is Frank dead?
Funny about.
I don't know.
No.
Oh, it shows she
No,
had no
his
HP.
portraits are still coloured. His portraits are still coloured.
Okay.
My health
So-
bars are empty because I found one of those dendro sprite thingies and it didn't want to die. I got it.
But yeah, yeah. So Lingsha's not a good fit, even if she's my favorite. And there's basically for poor Fushuin, they haven't fixed her yet. Hopefully, she'll get updated. I don't know if it's very likely that they will because she's been moved to the 50-50 failure position.
Well, so was Blade when they fixed him.
I don't want
the naughty pile.
Well, so
I'm really
Blade
I'm
got
really
stuck in
wrestled about her.
that too when he got his fix. So
Well, the thing is that the fix is already done by the time they relegated him to that. So I don't know if it's the same scenario. And but the thing is that there's so few preservation characters in the game. Like all of the leaks suggest that the new Buttervision is going to be preservation as well. But in all likelihood, I expect him to be like the preservation who is unambiguously calibrated for use with Finon. Because that seems to be what they're doing all the time.
yeah,
That's why Syringe's bad, because she's good for Finon. But yeah, I actually noticed though there's a bunch of people circulating fake interviews with the Star Rail devs. So the water, rumors wise, has become incredibly muddy lately. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. We'll see where the story goes. I'm going to have to go into social media shutdown again to avoid getting spoiled because this week at work was an absolute nightmare and a half, and next week is going to be just as bad, if not worse, for a variety of reasons. And we're real low on staff right now because of a couple of resignations. So yeah, I'm not very enthusiastic about my coming week. But if I can survive to the end of the week, I'll get more Star Rail story to play through. So yeah.
I will attempt to get through it next week. It's been rough.
You're going to be sort of up all night, a paranoid wreck, hunting a mouse around the house.
Well, that was a weekend thing, but I meant more just during the week. I don't know if I'll have time next coming week. We'll have to see. But I'll try to get through it so we can talk about it.
Next week there'll be 2 mice.
Where there's one, there's almost always more.
Yeah, especially if it's a young one, because that means that the litter is going to have been like 4 to 9 of them.
Yep. And somewhere nearby. Hopefully
if
out
you've
in the
got-
bush, but not necessarily.
Well, I mean, it's summer in the US right now, so it could be anywhere. In winter, you would be looking at things like compost piles and that, because they stay warm
Yeah,
due to
but
the fermentation.
they could be literally anywhere in a southern summer.
Yeah.
Yep.
In amongst the kudzu.
Cow in a box.
But
Ox cow.
But yeah, so looking forward to that. Genshin, I have got 100% exploration on this island. I just sat down and did it last week in the evening, just after the show and the day following, and I cleared out all of that. I had a good time. I did all the side quests I could find. Like, I don't know if I've got all of them. I have no idea how you would even check. but I did a bunch of stuff, and I had a good time. It was a fun little summer story. Real shonen protagonist energy from our boy Bennett.
Yep.
So all round a good time. Even whatchamacallit, Tone Deaf Bard got involved.
Now that
Oh,
you
fancy.
finished the story, I can link the voice line I screenshotted somewhere around here. Of when the new voice actress figured it out on how to snark with just making fun of what's his name for drinking too much. Dang it, I had the dumb thing and it has gone
I
poof.
have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't worry about it.
I don't have any context either, since I don't know what the old Venti voice actress sound like. I don't know what the new
not
Venti voice actress sound like.
not Venti, Paimon. Snarking at Venti. And Paimon figured out the appropriate level of snark. It's somewhere. I forgot what I did with it. Anyway.
I think if you really want to capture Paimon, I think that exposing Paimon to Venti is probably the best way to speedrun that. But
oh, here it is.
But yeah,
he was being polite, Venti, not giving you a return ticket to Booze Town.
Yeah, it's obvious that the new Paimon voice actors modeled her performance on the old one.
Yeah, but it took her a bit to get there.
Have to. That'll be part of the brief.
Yeah.
Like if you're replacing somebody, you've got to be able to at least make the transition smooth.
Yeah, she hasn't drifted too much. Over time, she'll probably make it her own, but for now,
when you get to the not Prologism, the one after that, which is her first full main story quest, you could feel she's still green and figuring it out.
Yeah.
But by the summer event, she seems to have got a much better handle on it, and it was specifically her interactions with Venti where it started to get much better.
Like I said, you want to learn Paimon, you expose it to Venti. But yeah, I mean, it didn't have to be this way. Nobody asked Paimon's old voice actor to be an insufferable lib shit, but she chose to be, and this is where we are today. Yeah. So it was great. It might not be the most memorable story in the world, but I mean, our boy Bennett deserved something. I feel he's had a rough time of it, but it's got to pay off for him. And it's got more of that, sort of adding lore around the edges. I haven't been back to fight the boss again. Actually, you have to clear it a second time to get another piece of lore, I think. But yeah, there's a boss in there which just once again calls into question Ryan sanities. Like, why did you make this? Did the world really need one of these? We probably would have been fine without it,
I don't think Ryan cares.
Ryan very much does not care. Yeah, so it was all round quite good. Side quests were good. I was a bit rustled that my favourite Sitlali did not get to drink herself into oblivion with Venti. Instead, she shows up later for a side quest. It's quite an extensive side quest, and she gets to aura farm quite a bit. But
after catching strays for the rest of the event,
yeah, she basically gets to be the terrifying Granny Glass that she is. Yeah, they call her Granny Itzley in the English. She's called Old Lady Glass in the Japanese. But the actual connotation of her nickname is the glass that the Aztecs made sacrificial daggers out of.
All right.
Which is why it's a terrifying nickname. But that's going to be lost on people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I can't say I'm up to date on my Aztec mythology and history and anything Aztec.
You'll share a border with them.
I mean, we share a continental border with them, but they're multiple countries over.
They were further south.
Bruh, they do your landscaping.
their
Jeez.
their descendants do my landscaping, or at least the people that live on their land did. But given that they don't speak Aztecian and speak Spanish, I don't think it's the Aztecs.
Well, I mean,
Considering what the Spanish got up to during those days, they are almost certainly not descended from the Aztecs.
well, I mean, the Aztecs had to go somewhere. I mean,
In the
sure,
ground.
it's a bit more dilute. It's a bit more dilute now. But mestizo is a thing for a reason. It's not like they're pure-blooded or anything, but they don't look like Spaniards. So anyway,
Yep.
yeah. So that was a cool little quest as well. But it's sort of like buried behind clearing everything else, and it's not voiced, which is disappointing. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm always happy to see more of Sitlali. It's going to be sad waving goodbye to Natlan, if only because she won't appear anymore. Have to wait for an event before she comes back again. But so I had to spend a good amount of time reciting over and over to myself, I don't need to see six Sitlali. I don't need to see six Sitlali. It's not necessary for me to do this. This is completely unnecessary. And I haven't. So far I'm victorious. Who even
Don't
knows
need
if
it.
it'll last.
Don't need it.
Yeah, you asked me to tell you not to, and I just sent you a picture of Kokomi chewing on a donut.
That wasn't helpful. Like, you're bad at this game. But yeah, because her banner is up, and it'll be the last chance for quite a while, because the non-cry characters are up next, starting with Flynn's and Lauma. Lauma basically being the new Bloom enabler, and Flynn's being the new electro charge enabler for the new sort of moon phase based type regional mechanic thingamajigger.
Make Nailu great again.
Yes, one of the things that's going to happen is Lauma will make Nailu great again.
Sent me a chart that just the first line is "You do Nailu things."
Yeah, the others had like rotation descriptions, like you press these skills in the sequence, but the Nailu one didn't.
It's just you do Nailu.
Yeah.
It's just like, I think the damage is good enough. Your stuff explodes, it hurts, you do Nailu things. Good.
It had the highest total damage of any of the ones that were being modelled in that particular post that I happened to run across.
Until Lauma got announced, I was planning to build this team because it was silly. And it was not supposed to be a meta team.
It was also the only one which had Kokomi as the driver, so I clipped it for you.
I posted in live show chat and sent it to Fern.
Oh no.
It's written in Comic Sans though, so who even knows how much you can trust it.
Your credibility tanks when you're writing Comic Sans.
But yeah, I'm probably going to be sitting out the first banner simply because I don't have the resources for anything else, and I kind of want the Hex and Zirkle characters. I want Alice and Nicole, so I'm going to have to hoard for them. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Things that didn't go so well, ZZZ. So I had 40k polychromes once upon a time. I don't have 40k polychromes now because I had to go to within single digits of hard pity 4 times.
You pulled on 4 banners in a row, haven't you? Or 3 banners in a row.
Yeah, I pulled I pulled to 50-50 loss for Vivian. And then I pulled Yishin, I pulled Fufu, and I pulled Yuzuha, and now I've pulled Alice. So yeah,
so that 40k went a while.
I probably on an enforced holiday now, which is disappointing because I think there's probably Orphe's going to be first banner in the next patch, and Orphe was the one that I wanted. I was a bit lukewarm on Seed, though her combat animations look really cool. You get to drive a mech after all, even if you do it with feet. But yeah, Orphe was the one that I wanted, but I'm probably going to end up on an enforced holiday for her, unless I decide to do the Aristeel thing and use money to solve my problems.
I
But,
have zero trouble occasionally giving ZZ a few bucks.
I mean, it's not like I'm not constitutionally opposed to giving the ZZZ team a reward for their efforts to some extent, like to reward the game that I think is doing a really good job. That's not what I'm opposed to. If it were, then I wouldn't already be buying battle passes and the monthly trickle. But the question is, how much money do I want to spend on gacha games? That's the thing. And because I want to pull both Icelands and Silverwolf in Star Rail, it's going to imperil my ability to justify spending money on other things.
Disposable income is a limited resource after all.
Yeah, although it's not so much about the limits of my resources as the limits of my dignity.
There's that too.
Because, like, I have no dependents. I don't have a mortgage. I've got a full-time job. It's not like I can't, technically speaking, afford to be wasteful, but whether one ought to develop a habit of being wasteful is a different question entirely.
Yes.
So, yeah. I don't know how I'm going to recover from this absolute brutality. The recovery period will be shorter in ZZZ given its habits than it is in the other gacha games by at least a little bit. I mean, I'm okay with that if it'll give me time to recover more resources. Now, the core mechanics for Alice are quite simple, but the actual use of Alice requires quite a bit of practice, because much like Fufu, she has a bunch of dead spots in her animations which can leave you vulnerable because you can't execute certain actions within those animation windows, even if they would normally be interrupts for another character. Her involved flight frames on her counter are like about 50% the size of Caesar's ones, so my muscle memory is way off. And generally speaking, she is heavily dependent on animation cancelling to work properly. So it's going to take quite a bit of practice to use her correctly. But I do enjoy playing her very much. And they give you they sell the character in the best way possible, which is their continued evolution of the side-scrolling mechanic. In that sort of it's basically a promotional tool, right? The side-scrolling thing, but they have continued to refine it to the point where it just places the character in the best possible light in terms of the fun that you can have while playing them, which is the most honest conceivable promotional tactic, other than the sort of excessive buffs that they give you, which are a bit, okay, well, this is just to increase the cool factor, really. But yeah, selling a character based on just giving you the opportunity to have fun fooling about playing them is basically the best way to do it. Yeah, I have really had a good time playing Alice. I'm visibly bad at playing her, but it hasn't bothered me in the slightest. Like it would just when I experience being terrible when I play Alice, and I'm not bothered by it at all. I just like, well, next time I'll do better. But yeah, I'm having a good time, and because she plays like a lightweight anomaly version of Caesar, and since Caesar is my favorite character to play, then it's made the transition quite palatable to me. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to have a go at this cycle of sheer defense. I did do the middle stage of Deadly Assault. I can't remember the boss's name. Using Alice Miyabi, which is that's a real experience in how do I hold all this anomaly, because both Miyabi and Alice are very sort of dominating on-field characters with lots of animation cancels, and trying to juggle both of them at the same time when you are bad at action games is like, I actually did feel like somebody had just thrown several large objects at me expecting me to juggle them. But yeah, it's fun to do. Actually working Yuzuha's play into a rotation is something that I'm still having trouble doing. Like, I enjoy it when it works well, but it's very frustrating when it doesn't. I almost always let it play in full, and I get very bushwhacked on those random occasions it chooses not to. Yeah. And then I end up stopping and standing as like, hold on, did the ability go off or not? I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I particularly like when her parry comes off properly. That's very fun to do when you don't just get, flattened because you timed it slightly wrong. Because and it's quite challenging because I'm not an action game player, so being not an it's got a lot of active frames, it's true. But realistically, the issue is if you're not an action game player, you have become overly dependent on sparks to determine when an attack is coming. And you cannot depend on sparks for that. You have to watch the animation because spark means too late. There are a couple of abilities in the game which spark comically early, so you can use the spark, but for most of them, it's not going to be enough. So, yeah, it's going to take some practice, and since I'm not an action game player, I don't know how much time I'm going to sink into refining my ability, but I do enjoy playing Bunny, so I will spend some time on it. I don't know how good my discs are because the disc rating thing is down. According to the guy that maintains it, there's some employee at Hoyo, just like one employee at Hoyo, who is incredibly butthurt about something to do with Battle Tower scoring that was incorporated into his system, and has been basically using all of his free time every day to sabotage the website. And so basically, it's down until he loses interest, more or less, because there's not an easy fix for it. So yeah, I haven't been able to check to see how my disc ratings stack up, because I went through a lot of freaking calibrators trying to get at least a passable disc, and didn't really make it in the end. My stats look okay. I perform okay. Most of the problems are with my inability to play competently. I don't have the level of dedication to learn full rotations by heart and muscle memory and then execute them the same way every time. And I just don't really want to devote that level of time. If I was monogaming it, then I probably would, but I'm not, so it is what it is. But Alice is a very fun character to play. I very much enjoy playing her. It's nice when you find a character who just feels right to play. And a lot of characters won't. Like some I've never really jived with. But don't care. Piper has no discs anymore. All of her discs went to Alice. So yeah. Other than the fact that I got absolutely savaged for polychromes, like right down to nothing, basically. I think I had like either double digits or like low triple digits with a 1 in front at the end, and that was cashing in all of my I don't even know what it's called in ZZZ, all of my ability to trade things back in for more pulls. Yeah. I did not pull a single piper this time. That was the only bright spot. Whereas on every single banner, I have pulled at least one to 10 pipers in the past. I pulled only one Piper W engine as well. So
I think the game wants you to play Piper.
I don't want to play Piper though. Piper's incredibly cumbersome to play, and I don't really like it. But yeah, so yeah, I think that it's quite fun. I hope that the team take a well-deserved rest. I don't think they will, but I hope that they do because they need it badly. I'm not having much luck finding advice on how to play Alice well, even though I would like to learn to play her well, because everybody is just playing the same team, which is Yuzuha, Alice, Vivian. Or Yuzuha, Vivian, Alice, depending on the flavour you prefer. So yeah, basically I have no way of getting any advice on how to play her. But nevertheless, just sort of spamming around and then seeing like Assault 560k, Assault 560k, Disorder 560k all pop up in one move is quite fun. They've said in interviews that they are developing combat multiplayer, but it's obviously it requires a lot of netcode work.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can't really introduce any lag into that without it all falling apart. Yeah. So yeah, I do want to get into ZZZ, and I do like ZZZ. It's just time.
There is never enough time in the day for anything.
And there's too much.
I mean, you started progressing Star Rail as well, so and then there's the summer event for Genshin, and now you're in Hoyo hell.
And I've got other games I want to play as well.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I still haven't made any
hell will
progress.
take you if you let it.
I still haven't made any progress in Expedition 33. I'm waiting for things to cool down a bit again. But yeah, I mean, there's so little that's novel that's coming out on a regular basis that it's like, well, I mean, I will just eat my Hoyo slop, thanks, because at least they're going to bother to write a story. I mean, you can come up with all the criticisms you want about the respective stories, and goodness knows there've been plenty, but there's a lot of games that aren't even trying. So yeah, anyway, what else? Is there anything else to mention? I feel like there was something, but I can't call it to mind right now, so I'll just leave it there. Because you already did Red Update.
You did the big Red update.
Nobody really knows what shape anything's going to be, and you've got some premium teams, so you might as well just sit on your pile of treasure like a dragon.
Shit, there's another game I'm going to play.
Is there value to, like, can you get any mileage out of swapping Robin and Cypher? Like, is that a thing?
Your fart becomes fact.
Yeah, a lot of people have commented that they get better clear times using Cypher in various teams, not just follow up or anything, but like in various teams, simply because you can hold the damage for when you need it, so you don't end up having to blow your load on something where it's going to mostly go to waste. Well, the pull logic for Star Rail is going to be very different anyway. The only thing that I would keep in mind is that the next game mode requires 3 teams. So you should think about if there's a team that you can push from clutch to competent, or if you really do just need to wait for a new meta to come along and build something out of it. Don't I wouldn't go for Break because Break doesn't share characters with anybody for the most part, other than Lingshark, and spend time in the follow up team. So you'd have to invest heavily in multiple characters and hope that you pick a DPS that doesn't fall off too quickly. Bleep bloop. Like if I was to give people advice in a vacuum, it would be like, don't start follow up now, don't start Break now. You could feasibly start Dot now if you wanted, but you'd have to think about what you were going to do for that support slot when you don't have a Black Swan. Well, like I said, that you can replace Black Swan with a Harmony character, but you need to have a free Harmony character who can slot into that team, which basically means Robin or a 1 May. Hysolins is the dot provider, because Hysolins can provide every type of dot. She just gets random dots when she does her dot application. So when you've had a couple of turns, she will have stacked every type of dot on, and then all of those will pop. And she also does her own sort of like unique pops every time somebody pops her dots. So basically, she's a damage hose who basically can't fire her damage herself. She needs an enabler, which means Kafka. There's nobody else in the game who can do it. Although she can do it herself with her ult, but only on her ult. Right now, it's like Firefly, I think. I don't. Yeah, it doesn't. It just doesn't sound like a very good idea. Somehow, I'm not really sure why. It seems like it's probably like I guess part of that. I think that probably maybe hold on a while and see whether we get like leaked kits for like Evernight, for instance. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't rush into it unless you're actually planning to just go full retard dot. Like if you're reserved about it. Like when I pulled Fei Xiao, I waited until almost the end before actually pulling her, just to make sure that there wasn't something coming down the line that I really needed. Because I was not like invested in follow up. I wanted to have a follow up team because there were a few active archetypes that I had, but I was not planning at any point to go full retard into follow up. I was planning to go just enough to have a surfaceable team, and that's what I've currently got. And it still works for those occasions where I need it. But yeah, if you intend to go in on like partially in on dot, I would wait until late in the piece in case there's another theory that presents itself as more favorable. There's also other tuning up that you could do. Like you might be able to just tune up your Acheron team some more if Acheron benefits from Cypher. I don't really know. Yeah, but for me, that's break. I just install break in everything because I know that it's going to be able to do toughness depletion.
Oh, hail Space Barbara.
There's a lot of memes. There's a lot of memes going around at the moment because in the trailer for the next version, there's a scene where Evernight eats Amphorius, and everybody's like now drawing pictures of like March menacing Ika as the power crypt version of Fattest Pony. I wouldn't. Jiachu has the most limited application of any support in the game. Yeah, I mean you can just wait. You can just wait. Like there's not really any real reason that you've got to rush in. Nobody knows what the stuff down the line is going to look like. There really aren't any leaked kits. There's no leaked kits for New Don Hing. There's no leaked kits for Evernight. Like there are people that say that they've leaked kits, but they're not very consistent and they don't look like each other or like anything coherent either. Everybody knows that Sirene's going to be a playable, but nobody knows what she does. Everybody's just the leaks all suggest that she's some kind of support, but also that she might have a 2-mode system where she has a support mode and a damage mode, and there's lots of different assertions about what she does. But most people think she's going to be some kind of Memo Sprite support, but considering there's not really any way for Castor's team to get more premium, she would probably have to be an Aglaia support. Hard to say. Which could give more legs to your Aglaia team. You can't put Sunday in there. Oh no, Sunday will already be in the Aglaia team because he generates energy. Aglaia's desperately energy hungry. Get you some Tingyun in there. Yeah, any support will do, really. I I don't know if I've ever actually used Robin in there. I think I might have once. Robin's really bad for that team because she generates too much attack rather than damage. So, not really very good. Yeah, I think that it is a reasonably likely role for Cyrene. It's worth remembering that Cyrene's likely to have quite a high power level, I would say, much like Finon, because of Elysia simply being a Hoyo fan favorite, and it's a bit hard to express just how much of a fan favorite she is. Like her being she's of the Acheron level of fan favorite, like the Raiden Mei level. Like the people who are still Gaga over Raiden Shogun are going to be Gaga over Cyrene. Like she's that popular. Yeah, they have a content problem and they really haven't acknowledged it. Honestly, the thing that I'm probably looking forward to the most is having all the resins merge again. Having two types of resin was such an unnecessary boondoggle. I don't know why they did that. I could have fielded a dot team, but current dot teams are so kludge that I was like, it's probably not even worth it. I'll just brute force it with Firefly. I don't think they hand grabbed any of my characters. I think that evaporated before I had a chance. Lol. Yeah, Kokomi and crit, not great.
Jeez, that's kind of nuts.
Well, well, I mean, don't rather than farming for it, shouldn't you just be putting everything that you've got in the? I started doing some clear out yesterday evening. I didn't make it very far. I think I managed to clear out like 200 artifacts, meaning I've still got 1,700 to clean out. Yeah, nearly all of them I need to go in the mulching machine. I'm way too generous with letting things sit in the inventory. Like, I keep thinking I could use that. It could happen. And of course, I've got that small legion of +4s as well. Things where I level it up once and I'm like, I have I have 200 artifacts from the plunging damage set. I get. I guess I could stick them on Garming. Like, there are heaps of people posting Garmin clears of the current Stygian. We should go take a crack at that and get completely mop. Have it completely mop the floor with us. No, you should definitely definitely because you get bonus relic drops. Remember? Yeah, any farming that you do, all of your resin during the first week of a new Stygian Onslaught should go into Stygian Onslaught. Just clear the easy one in 10 seconds per round, because you get every X clears, you get a bonus relic. And you can farm any domain you want. So you should always do all your farming in there. Llama doesn't seem to wear pants. They also seem to have given the standard female character some buffs in certain regions. I mean, she is supposed to be kind of like she's supposed to be sort of like a fertility archetype, so I guess it's thematically fitting.
No. All right, let's take a look-see. Oh yes, she has huge tracts of land.
Where is that
Yeah.
line originally from?
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh yes, it is, isn't it? I remember now. I knew it was from something. It was like, oh, what one was it? It was like Princess Bride or one of the things of that era.
Yeah. But no, it properly pronounced, it comes with the hand gestures.
And a brief pause.
And a brief pause.
Just so that you know that wasn't the original thing that was going to be said.
Yeah, that line got trotted out a lot towards the end of Endwalker for one very particular boss.
Also, I remember it being used a lot in the Hitalia fandom at one point. Something to do with Russia wanting Ukraine. Well, it's huge tracts of land.
I tended to avoid the Hitalia fandom like the plague for...
That's a very good idea. I only ever encountered it by accident.
The Hitalia fandom is something special. Yes.
The one amusing thing about her character design is that her antlers get more elaborate depending on the more Nod Cry characters you have in your team.
Huh, that's kind of interesting. There
Evidently,
you go.
yes. At least she's wearing shoes. They managed to continue to wear shoes while also serving the feet people.
Yes. There's like what, only 2 Genshin characters that don't have heals? Yeah, I think that's it. There's not many. Most of them have heals.
Well, I mean, they're not stiletto heels, but it looks like Lanyan still has heels. But have you seen Columbina's heels? It's actually they've been getting a lot of play in my timeline simply because every cosplayer is basically posting their attempts to recreate her heels. I need to find a screenshot because it's proven to be like the cosplayer challenge of the moment is making Columbina's shoes for a Columbina cosplay.
Preferably without breaking your own ankles. Whoopsie. I should have been paying attention because I just got caught.
Well, yes, but they're heels. Fine, I'll use Reddit.
Ew, I hope you feel dirty.
So those are actually heels. Like that, it functions like shoes. And
Not how
every
shoes work.
cosplayer is trying to craft shoes out of transparent, like acrylic or resin or whatever, to create the effect. Because I mean, you got to think about it, right? But like part of the scam that the Fatui are running is that they're trying to replace a moon goddess with Columbina. So manipulation of water is, of course, part of her portfolio.
Mm.
And apparently, part of her manipulation of water is to use it instead of wearing heels.
Yeah, that's. You'd have to build it with transparencies. It's the only thing you could do. But yeah.
Well, I've seen people posting lots of different attempts to do it because apparently it's a real challenge. Because that stuff tends to not be very structurally sound. That's why you don't
No,
really
that's
generally
right.
build things out of perspex because it doesn't have consistent mechanical qualities.
It tends to be brittle in odd directions.
It's like it's yeah. There's going to be so many additional broken heels compared to normal. But like
Build it with.
if you go to engineering school and you do material science, one of the things that you usually study is perspex because it's such a stark contrast to every other type of material in terms of its inconsistency and unreliability.
Yeah. You could do it with glass, but same issue there.
You
It's
wouldn't. You wouldn't. Too dangerous.
too dangerous because it's going to shatter and go stabby stabs. Difficult. Yep.
That's probably why people are so proud when they finally manage to create a pair of Columbina cosplay shoes that actually works.
Yeah. The other option is hold everything in place with fishing line and learn to walk on your tippy toes.
I, it's not hard. I do that all the time. You do. It's probably does. It does make your calves conspicuously sculpted though when you do that.
We end up with fantastic gams.
So you didn't want you mincing down the road like a poofter.
The other option, of course, would have been, you know, you're going to learn to box. Yeah, Because that sort of footwork would be great for boxing.
It's technically Skirka's not wearing shoes, technically.
She's not wearing feet either, technically.
Yeah.
Or
But I think
maybe she
probably
is wearing feet? I don't know.
I think probably Alacino takes the cake for the most aggressive looking stilettos.
Where they're just straight up knives.
Pretty
They're
much.
stilettos.
She probably has.
Oh yeah, here we are. Someone's actually made them as cosplays as well, because of course they have. And yeah, they're quite stabby. You can buy a pair on AliExpress, but they don't have the stabbies. I mean, yeah, okay. The kid models tend to.
Amber's birthday.
They got that many characters now. It's pretty much always someone's birthday. Yeah.
But wasn't your old Jane disc set awful? Denny's? What are Denny's? I've never seen those before. I've been furiously farming Denny's every day to try and get something back so I can do basic stuff. Because in addition to leveling up Alice, I also leveled up Miss Esme. So, Denny's gone. All my Denny's gone.
Crap. My mic got muted again.
What have you done?
So
You said you fixed it.
I thought I had fixed it. The stupid hotkey turned it. So, okay, here's what happened. I don't know how long it's been muted. It wasn't muted at the start of the show, and it was not muted like 40 minutes ago. But whatever.
You're so bad at this.
It is. I will just make a note that there's a random like 40-minute block of muted. somewhere in the live show chat.
That's weird.
Only for my voice. They can hear y'all fine. So what happened was, when I updated OBS, it re-enabled a hotkey to mute sound source 1, and it's one of the keyboard keys on my numpad, and I thought I had turned it off, and either I just didn't, or it did not save between closing OBS and reopening it, or I just forgot to hit the save button. So either is a likely thing that could have happened. But yeah, you didn't miss much. Just saying, not a whole lot going on in Star Rail and Genshin, and you could probably infer what's happening from Vol anyway if you're really curious. And ZZZ for that matter. So, that's the Hoyo stuff.
Almost.
How long is it going to take me to do this freaking auto battler thing in ZZZ?
Oh, it's
because I did the tutorial last night and it was like, oh my goodness, this is so slow.
Oh yeah, it's like at least a couple hours.
And then you've got to do competitive play?
Yeah, that's about another hour. Although the people I played against were really stupid.
That seems part of the course, really.
So
well, it doesn't really feel very good to play from what I could tell.
No,
like,
it's one of the
they infer that there's all of this strategy that you can use and you can get all of these things, but you're basically playing gacha every time. You can't build a team that you want.
No,
you've just got to hope that you get dealt something useful because there's almost no resources to work with.
They pulled the Arpeggio Fault guy out of the basement for this one.
Put him back.
Like,
put him back.
Anytime ZZZ has an event like this that is very clearly gives Arpeggio Fault vibes, the Phantom Arpeggio Fault guy is just the guy I blame for all this. But yeah, I did that crap immediately as soon as I saw it wasn't time gated. I'm like, nope. Getting this out of the way.
I simply didn't have the time for it, so I didn't. I put it off because it had a huge timer on it. And now that I'm looking at it, it's like, oh my goodness, this is not fun at all.
Yeah,
it could be fun. Like I can see a feasible world in which it could be satisfying to play, but this is not that world.
If you triple the animation speeds, maybe that'd be a start.
Also maybe if it accrued in any way instead of putting you back to square one every time, where you're like, oh great, so I get to get Paper Boo or whatever again, and try and build a strategy around Paper Boo. Like, there's no point in saying, oh, you want this 3-star character and you want that 3-star character, when you might maybe get enough pulls to get a 3-star character once every 3 games.
Yeah, never mind that you gotta level up the shop each game. So yeah, that's the Hoyo games. I did not have time to invest in any of them this week. That's part of the reason I don't have anything to say about Alice. Because this has been a week. Just problems for days, people wanting me to come solve it, engineers pestering me, trying to get me to do the job for them. It's just been nonstop. Hunting people down that owe me money. Like, it's just, I did manage to choke $38,000 out of people that owed me a whole lot of back money, though. So that was good. I was able to get caught up on a lot of payments, but that also meant I had to do all the paperwork for that. Yeah, it's just been a pain. And so I retreated to my happy place. If you ever see me open Devil May Cry 5, the reason is it's been a week. And I just need to go somewhere where everything makes sense. And that's full of motivation and storms that are approaching. And bang, 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 pull my devil trigger. And it really dawned on me this time going back to it. Because, yeah, I've got more mods installed this time than my usual re-ventures into it. But I still just like playing that video game. It will never, ever not be just fun to pick up and play that video game. There's no thinking about what each input does. There really never is in Devil May Cry 5 as soon as you get over the very brief intro learning curve for it. Relatively speaking, for any action game. And even playing on turbo mode this time, it's like, oh, it's just fun. The control scheme in Devil May Cry is perfect. Why hasn't every action game not adopted this? It's so simple. There's no thought about inputs whatsoever. Push direction on stick. Push button. Are you locked on? Yes, no. There you go. That's what move's going to come out. And it just always feels so fun to play. So yeah, that was that. And other than that, I did get caught up on some anime while I was playing. Got caught up on Rising of the Shield Hero to where we're at right now, which is episode 5 of season 4. So that meant I watched all of season 3 and season 4.
But my tortoise.
Season 3 is not good. Not good either.
It's
I don't even know where I stopped, but I stopped when it was incredibly cringe, and it's like, oh, do I really want to watch any more of this? Because it's
To be fair,
not very promising at this point.
to be fair, anything after season 1 does kind of lean towards the cringe.
There's a very long arc in both the manga and light novel / web novel, where the other heroes get realize that they screwed up big time with Spirit Tortoise and succumb to their own weapons per series for 1 or 2 in some cases of the 7 deadly sins. And because in the manga and the light novel, it takes forever to go through all that, and you get to see them slowly break down and characters push them into it. It feels like a fairly good arc where you get to finally see all these 3 tools hoist themselves by their own petards, and their Curse series side effects are quite extreme. And it's a fairly good arc. In the anime, each one gets an episode and a half. And Motoyasu's is played for laughs.
Because he always is.
Yeah, so instead of any kind of satisfying catharsis and comeuppance for these 3 tools that need Naofumi to physically beat it out of them, and them having to hit a low point as low as he got to in season 1 for them to finally come to their senses, something that makes sense for people with their particular character traits. Instead, they just kind of suddenly fall into the depression and get
I'm sad now.
Yeah, get hyper speeded into whatever their quirk is and have it overtake them, and then Naofumi bops them on the head and they're K and they join his party now. Because we're just moving too fast in the anime, zipping through this. Like we're just cutting too much. You need to spend more time with this kind of thing if you're going to do the story arc and make it good.
No, we need to spend more time looking at the tortoise.
No, we don't.
We do. Can we forget about the tortoise?
No, that abomination of CGI needs to be relegated to the dustbin of history and forgotten about. Maybe only preserved.
Season 1 went down, they'd give it a little bit of budget.
No,
every time I look at it, it reminds me of Juggernaut from Legend of Legaia.
Yeah, like PS1 era FME. I mean, Juggernaut was cool on the PS1 in that FMV, but that was also 19.
So well.
Well, even then, if you take it as a PS1 game, that looks pretty cool for the time. He's a big, dumb, 3D looking scary monster that busts through the wall with a ridiculous, over the top evil demon face. But he looks so PS1 FMV. And yeah, that worked great in like 1997 or whenever that game came out. Season 2 of Shield Hero came out in what, 2022?
Yeah.
It's a couple decades after that. We expect some progress.
I mean, but the spirit tortoise is an ancient creature, so it existed in a bygone era when the CG was not as good.
There's a certain twisted logic in that, and I actually quite appreciate it.
So I can't find a picture of the FMV version of Juggernaut. Maybe on the wiki they'll have something.
Maybe. There?
Oh, that is so tiny.
Yeah, that figures.
Yeah,
Probably at full resolution for a CRT television.
probably.
Yeah,
But
resolution of 2x4 or something. Ugh.
that's what you're that's what you're looking at. Uh, when he shows up in the daylight, you got you can see him a bit better doing that from the side. And do they have his spell cut in somewhere? There's a Juggernaut summon you can do too. Oh, I don't see it. Is that one?
I was
That
never able to unlock it. I didn't know how. And there was no internet, so I couldn't look it up.
oh, here we go. Okay, I got you. I got you, fam. That's what Juggernaut looks
There you
like
go.
close up. And so, his summon, however,
It
where
was
is
kind of a hallmark of the really good PS1 era CGI, where all the characters suddenly look like they were made of felt or something.
for reference? That's what his in-game face looks like.
Yeah, gobble gobble.
Yeah,
How did you unlock the summon? Because I could never figure out how.
it was a convoluted process to get it. I think.
Because it was basically like the apex summon of a JRPG from the late 90s.
One that didn't have
it's always going to have a.
Yeah, it didn't have nearly as much coverage as any of the other big JRPGs either. So finding information on it, even when the internet was starting to take off, was like impossible. Oh, you have to level up all your characters to level 99 and go talk to Saryu in the Serukai.
Right.
And then go to the underground laboratory, where I presumably the one where he fought Court in his human form, and go all the way back to the area, and there'll be a treasure chest with the evil talisman in it that gives you the Juggernaut summon.
It's just there.
Getting to level 99 is a bit of a journey in Legaia. Good luck with that.
Because it's not really any enemies of a level much higher than like 70 or something. So
Yeah.
the XP trickle is going to be painful.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah,
by
I
the
mean, it
time
was
you get
back in the
game is
day.
thoroughly over.
It was back in the day where I had to like try every single conceivable combination of moves and write down all the ones that I tried in order to find the combos.
Yep.
Yeah, like legs, arms, Seru, Seru, arms, legs, or whatever it was. What did that do?
I don't know. There were different things in every character.
I don't know.
And then once you had them all worked out, you would have to like spend ages trying to put all the puzzle pieces together for however much bar you had available, both with and without using spirit in the previous turn, in order to work out how many you could compress using overlaps into a single bar.
Yeah, and then Legaia was an interesting game for a turn-based game. Some things you go back if you were to go back and play it now, you'd just be like, if you looked at the combat system, you'd be like, what the F were they thinking? But for the time, they were very adventurous.
I never finished the guy 2.
I don't know if I did. I don't remember the ending of it if I did. I do remember thinking Court's guilty cross move was like the coolest thing ever during his boss fight. The dramatic JoJo poses he struck while he did it.
All right. There really isn't any news this week. You've got a notification saying that Genshin is going to be ending PS4 support.
Yeah, lots of people mauling over that, but I mean,
It was going to happen sooner or later.
they're going to have to do that calculation, right? Like, how much of the market is on PS4 now? How much will still be on the PS4 in like 8 months' time when they go end of service on it? How much is the licensing costing to continue to put it on that system? How much is the optimization costing to continue to keep it working on that system? How much is that particular system in 8 months' time going to be holding us back development wise, having to develop down to that set of specifications, considering in 8 months' time probably there are going to be phones as powerful as the PS4? Like,
I think that has already happened.
I don't know. I don't really know how you compare the mobile chips versus more conventional ones.
Yeah.
It's mainly a question of heat dissipation, probably. Judging by the fact that one of the popular pieces of merch that Hoyo sell are clip-on phone coolers. But
Yeah.
there's not a lot in it for them to keep it on the PS4 at this point. I mean, to some extent, the only reason it's a problem is because the PS5 was marketed so badly. Like
Yeah.
the in a normal, like, bygone console cycle, a larger portion of the market by far would have moved on to the next gen system by now, and it's just not happening because nobody can afford it. And there was such a long period of time where there simply weren't any available due to materials constraints.
There's not
So,
a whole lot in the way of titles to drag you across anyway.
and realistically, probably a lion's share of the player base is just playing on a phone anyway, and people upgrade their phones every few years. So, if that's the logic they're going to follow through, then there's not really much room to maintain PS4 compatibility at length.
Yeah. I probably should upgrade my phone at some point soon.
I upgraded my phone a little while ago, and I'm pretty happy with it presently. I tried running various things on it, and some things it liked, some things it didn't like so much. I have dared not attempt to play ZZZ on it. I installed it, but then I'm like, you know what? This is probably not going to work very well.
Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to play a Genshin or a Hoyo game on my phone. It basically, if I have a game going and I try to switch back to maybe the web browser or something like that, it'll lock up and crash because it doesn't have a whole lot in the way of RAM.
My phone is
at
pretty
all.
good. It's like not flagship good, but it's pretty good, and it runs most things okay. I was able to do my dailies on it for Genshin. The biggest issue with doing of playing on the phone is really having to use that phone joystick that only like late Zoomers and Gen Alpha can use.
I wonder if this is how the boomers feel when they pick up a controller.
Well, I don't know. You know way more boomers who pick up controllers, so.
Oh my, the opossum again. He was playing one of those tactical shooter games, Ready or Not. They put it out on console, and I'm sitting in the office loaded with work, and he wants me to come in there and fix something wrong with the game. He's like, "Something's wrong with the game. I can't hear my character talking." I'm like, so I go quickly Google some patch notes. I'm like, "Did you put a gas mask on?" Like, oh.
Oh no.
Watching him play video games, like, oh, I understand why they make video games baby easy these days.
Yeah. The only other thing of note is still the ongoing saga with the payment processes and the executive order now. So basically, there's a executive order put out in the last couple of days that just says payment processors cannot refuse legal sales. We'll see if that actually does anything, but I honestly doubt it.
Yeah.
What you need to attach a penalty before it really will stick, and that penalty can't be a financial penalty because they'll just pay it as a tax to do what they want. There has to be like you lose your license to operate in this country if you don't abide.
Yeah, it has to be really strict and harsh because the payment processors literally have unlimited money.
Let's see. 180 days of all this order. Each appropriate federal banking regulator shall, to the greatest extent permitted by law, remove the use of reputation risk or equivalent concepts that could result in politicized or unlawful debanking. Skipping ahead, what penalties does it say?
It basically just gives the federal and law enforcement agencies means to prosecute them, but because no penalty is set, you're basically at the mercy of a federal judge who will likely just impose a cash penalty, and that's an acceptable risk. Payment processors, they don't care.
It doesn't matter when they have all the money. They just they will just
Yeah,
give a little bit of all the money.
The only way that you can stop debanking is if a bank loses the license to operate if they debank somebody. That's basically the only way you can do it.
Yeah, you would have to do that, and that's pretty much it. You can't even threaten to throw people in jail over it. That won't be enough. They have plenty of layers
They'll
of
just
fall
sacrifice whoever they need.
Yeah, they have
They
plenty
will
of layers
find a
of fall
peon to
guys.
throw under the bus.
Yeah, they'll throw it on the CEO 2 levels down instead of the people that are actually making the orders, and then have somebody replace them, and it doesn't.
Expendable schlub number 26 gets promoted to an executive position just so he can take the fall.
Yeah, never mind that they can endure protracted legal battles and literally not care.
Yeah,
Like,
because again, they own all the money.
Yeah, the only way to put a cap on this is to take away their ability to do any kind of business if they provide.
Yeah. So we'll see if anything actually happens with that. I honestly don't think it will.
No, and to get that kind of level of penalty, you need an active Congress, and good luck with that.
Yeah. And even then, even if they do stop their nonsense in the US, they'll probably still keep it up in Europe and the rest of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember how before the show we were talking about what AI always join?
Yeah, yep.
There's a certain group that isn't.
You're gonna get us banned.
Yeah. Honestly, though, it took took Grok longer than I expected it to before it went that route.
Oh, I was about to join Grok with what I was about to say.
Yeah, don't join Grok.
I remember when I was a kid, the Auckland Savings Bank, the ASB, had a series of really popular ads on the television people really liked, which was basically the bank's sort of like very stereotypical CEO who was like this big sort of heavy old guy who was like, I need you to he goes to one of his underlings, I need you to go out into the countryside of rural New Zealand and find out what makes our customers tick. And he sends out this guy to investigate it, and the guy is like a buffoon. He's a total city slicker. He's completely unable to comprehend anything going on in the New Zealand countryside, and the ads are basically a series of little vignettes of him encountering rural life. But the ads in the end got discontinued because the name of the guy was Ira Goldstein.
Oh no.
And this being objectionable completely did not get noticed by anybody until such time as it got banned for being culturally insensitive, and nobody at the time understood why, because it was so far from anybody's thoughts.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what happened in the end.
I only pick up on it because I was actively looking for it. So yeah. Incidentally, America could learn a lot from Australia and New Zealand advertising. Just saying.
Well,
that's terrible.
Here's the thing about American ads is the only ads that I'm aware still exists are for life insurance and various medical professionals trying to sell you a placebo.
They do love the placebos.
Or have you been injured in an accident? Call Douchebag and Sons.
That's actually a better name than I was going to say. I was trying to think of something in the ambulance.
Count Dankula have that ad read for a while?
Possibly.
Probably.
It sounds like something in his wheelhouse. Like, the only time I see ads are when boomers have the news on. And I happen to be walking through the room. And it's always some drug company trying to sell something that very obviously doesn't work. And who in their right mind would ask their doctor about something they saw on the television? I don't know, but people must do it. And then, or Douchebag and Sons law firm trying to convince you to sue everybody. Or life insurance because you're about to die soon because you're a boomer watching television.
Yeah, of those we only really get the life insurance ones, and they tend to be incredibly cringe. But the best advertisements our guys have discovered basically are the ones that people remember, and generally the way to make people remember is to make them laugh. So we'll get some of the most completely whacked out ads, including the ASB Bank one, even though nobody made the Goldstein connection.
I will.
Honestly, I wouldn't have made it if I wasn't looking for it either.
Is this the right ad? Hang on.
Head on.
Yeah, this is it. I'll post in the live show chat the most memorable ad from the 90s.
Oh, yes. That
Didn't
never
Oxford-
broadcasts on Australian TV, and yet everyone knows it
One of them.
because it's been memed.
This was on.
Pretty
TV.
sure Oxford parodied that.
He did.
Yeah, like
Everyone parodied it.
it's because in the 90s, this thing was on like all the popular channels, and it ran for like 2 years straight.
Did that product even actually work?
I have no
suspicion it didn't.
It may or may not still be on shelves for all I know. The stupid commercial may have done its job so well that they're able to move enough products.
If I see an annoying ad like that, I refuse to buy the product.
Oh, there are
Those who are listening audio, it's head on, by the way.
there are entire product shelves. There used to be. I don't know. I don't go to the types of stores that would sell it anymore. But like your Bed Bath and Beyonds and your Hobby Lobbies and all that stuff will have a section just dedicated to as seen on TV.
Yep.
And it's just junk that's had at least one infomercial.
Yeah. So we tend to see the infomercials as well, and it's usually like originally they used to come out with some interesting products, but now it's like, here is this product, and it is American military grade glasses, so farmed out to the lowest bidder. Or here is this thing that will suck things up off your floor, so it's a vacuum cleaner, or it's a mop, or a squeegee, or whatever. But they just take it out and they make it sound like something fancy and new, but no, it's not new. It's not new. It's something we've had for years.
I miss when the infomercials were actually fun. But you would only really watch the infomercials if your TV only had antenna channels.
Oh, for the has this ever happened to you scenarios?
Or I'm thinking more of like when we would get like your slap chop infomercials. Watch this, you're gonna love my nuts.
The unintended funnies, yeah.
Everything Vince Offer did was memeable because the dude was such a clown when he was doing his infomercials. He also got arrested for like 30 different things in Florida.
Oh my, yes. Didn't he die in jail?
Let's see. Is Vince Offer still alive?
No, he's not alive. He died a few years back. But
I know Billy Mays.
I remember
died.
that he died.
Did Vince Offer die? Yeah, he died at age 60. No. Years active to present. Vince Offer isn't dead. Billy Mays died.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah, he was the other infomercial guy.
Or is it just Vince's career is dead because of the legal pursuits?
Yeah. Well, he got arrested for all kinds of assault charges. The most notable one being in Miami, Florida, beating up a 26-year-old prostitute in 2009.
Oh yes, I remember that. So yeah. Anywho, we should wrap it up because we're actually rabbiting.
Yeah, well, the whole show has been kind of
ridiculous
rabbity
today.
because it's been one of them weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, I did do some looking around for stuff before the show, but there really wasn't anything. It was just like, oh, we're announcing this, we're announcing that, and none of these announcements are anything new. They're just announcements of remakes of old games or remakes of not really that old games that didn't really need a remake yet, etc.
Oh, are they doing Last of Us again?
The what?
Are they doing The Last of Us again? It's been 5 minutes. I haven't remastered it.
I don't know if they're doing Last of Us again. Probably.
Honestly, it's worse than Skyrim at this point. Ugh.
So yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. Per whatchamacallit, Sereth's interests. Well, more my interests than Sereth's, and Sereth is a Doom person, but Heretic and Hexen are being released again.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to playing those again. They don't tend to play very nice with modern hardware very much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? They're releasing them on the modern platforms, so presumably they will have debugged it enough for them to actually run.
Yeah. Or it's going to be something stupid, like if you open up the task manager and just see it's running in DOSBox.
Yeah, they added new episodes to them as well.
Okay. I wouldn't say no to Hexen and Heretic. They were fun in their own incredibly strange ways. Also very frustrating at some points.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Yep. So this has been your Cow in a Box show. Because I pretty much haven't left this box.
Oh.
I don't know where Fur's gone. Paul's been running around. Yeah, you went on adventures and Paul's been running around me and I've been in a box. So, I think we're done, folks. We will let you know more when a week actually happens, and hopefully next week I'm not totally sucked up by work and can actually play the Star Rail patch and go over some of that with Fall. And
well, I mean, first of all, I need to be able to make it through the week intact with enough sanity to play it as well. So it's all up in the air.
Yeah, if I can grab an evening just to blitz it, I'll probably do that. But
I was actually planning to take a day off next week, but it's looking more and more like that won't be possible because people keep resigning and stuff. So we're short on staff again, and I don't know, like it's they are not providing me with the resources that I need because I need to hire more people than I'm allowed to hire in order for me to do my job, because they've collapsed heaps of different roles into my own, and I spend 20 hours a week at the bench instead of in my office doing my job due to shortages of staff. So it's basically an impossible situation, and it's just going to get worse and worse. I haven't had a holiday for anything other than a family crisis for like 2 or more years. So I have about 670 hours of paid leave at present banked up that I can't take, because if I go on leave, that's basically 3 people going on leave at once, and the staff can't survive that. Like the business can't survive that because I account for too many people's work, and there's not really a way around it unless they actually let me hire enough people to do the jobs that I'm doing that aren't my job.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. Next week is probably just going to be a disaster again, like it is every
I've got
week.
a family emergency. I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. And the
very
family emergency is in Antarctica. I'm going. Bye.
It's very tempting to just resign to see what happens.
It would be very interesting, yes.
Because they would survive it, but it would be ugly. It would be very ugly, and they would probably lose a lot of money in the process. But they wouldn't draw the correct conclusion from that, though. That's the thing with corporate.
No, of course not. Of course not. All right, take us out.
All right. You've been listening to the Cow in a Box podcast. We'll see you next week. Maybe it'll be Fish in a Box. Sayonara. Bye-bye.